Ladies and gentlemen, this story has quite a bit that we need to discuss, and it's actually a topic that really piqued my interest because there were some things that I saw in here. Definitely the treatment of this little girl is going to turn your stomach, so it's going to have some details that are not going to sit well with your sensibilities. So if you guys need to exit, that is your disclaimer. But let me say this. These people involved in this story, which includes a father and a stepmother, hashtag dad's girlfriend. If y'all understand what they did to this little girl, beautiful little princess right here, her name is Harmony Montgomery. At least what we believe that they have done and what they're accused of. Let me give you guys some details of this story. So the stepmother, let me see if I can get her picture to come across the screen here real quick. That was the father. These two drunken master looking idiots on my screen, that's the stepmother. So the stepmother of a missing 7-year-old girl from New Hampshire was arrested on Wednesday as part of an increasingly winding investigation, or winding, I'm not sure what that is, W-I-N-D-I-N-G, it's either winding or winding investigation into a child's year-long disappearance. I think it's actually closer to 2 years that this child was missing. So Kayla Montgomery, let me get her face back up here so you guys can see. That is Kayla Montgomery. Why somebody looked like they ran her through a weed whacker is beyond me, but that's the way she looks. That's her real face. That is not photoshopped, okay? She is 31 years 31 years old and was arrested pursuant to an arrest warrant for one charge of welfare fraud. Welfare fraud, a Class A felony, according to a Thursday morning press release issued by NH Attorney General John M. Formella, Hillsborough County Attorney John Coughlin, and Manchester Police Chief Alan D. Aldenberg. The arrest comes a day after, let me see if I can get his face up here. Let's go back. Let's go back a moment. This guy, that is Adam Michael Montgomery with the tattoos on his neck and face. He looking like a thug, he walking like a thug, and I guess he treated his daughter like the thug he was trying to be, okay? He's also 31 years old, and he was arrested and charged with several crimes in slightly removed connection with his daughter's unknown whereabouts. So 7-year-old Harmony Montgomery on the right-hand side, that little angel there, was seen sometime in late 2019. We are in 2022. 2022. And it's a damn shame that this is how parents behave, let alone a biological father. Where my brothers at? Where my men at? My real fathers out there who get sick and tired of people like this who have an opportunity to be fathers, and these mothers either the circumstance makes it to where these fathers are able to be in their kids' life, or if the mother allows them to be, and they do stupid crap like this and show a huge neglect and disrespect for their children. That is flat out unacceptable. 7-year-old Harmony Montgomery was seen sometime late 2019. Adam Montgomery and Kayla Montgomery have been estranged since October 2021, according to an account cited in court documents obtained by Law and Crime on Wednesday, which is where we're getting this article from. Thank you very much. In a police interview late last year, Kayla Montgomery told Manchester investigators, in addition to not seeing her husband for the past 4 months, she had not seen Harmony Montgomery since a morning in November or December of 2019. She hadn't seen her daughter since a morning in November or December of 2019. How do you not know even the last month that you saw your kid? I just don't think very highly of that, but that's okay. Let's keep going. That morning, Kayla Montgomery allegedly told police her since-gone husband said he was taking his daughter to stay with her mother in Lowell, Massachusetts. Authorities allege that Kayla Montgomery unlawfully obtained a meager $1,500 in food stamp benefits through a period spanning December 2019 to June of 2021 by failing to remove Harmony Montgomery from her family account. So they were giving her food stamps on behalf of having this kid when she did not have this kid, which is what landed her in the hot water, right? With granted state agency that provides public assistance and by continuing to collect food stamp benefits for Harmony, despite the fact that Harmony was no longer living with Kayla and Kayla's husband, Adam Montgomery. Let's keep going. The multi-agency attention to a relatively small bore charge against Kayla Montgomery could suggest that law enforcement is chasing down all relevant angles and those oh Lord, I can't pronounce that word. Tangentially related. I'm sorry about that. My goodness. I don't think I've ever seen that word before. Tangentially. Sorry, I can't pronounce that word. Tangentially. Okay. So in a way that relates only slightly to a matter peripherally. Okay. Related in an effort to obtain more information about the missing girl. Thank you, Google, for that, helping me pronounce it. Though Harmony Montgomery was last seen in late 2019, the mystery of her disappearance was only made known to authorities late last week. Now tell me that is not a horrible parent. They just found out that she was missing. Adam Montgomery, during his own police interview, allegedly gave contradictory statements when quizzed by investigators and eventually asserted his right to remain silent when pressed about concerns over his daughter's safety. That should be a big red flag. I have nothing else to say, he allegedly repeated to the police. While Harmony Montgomery's case has become recent national news, a news story rife with speculation, the fact of her unknown status has long had a stark impact on family members who love her. According to Inside Edition, the girl's younger brother, 5-year-old, why would they put his whole name back? But they did. 5-year-old Jamison Montgomery misses his sister and longs for her return. The boy was adopted by Blair Miller and Jonathan Miller in November of 2019. We can think of examples where he's been at the park and he'll ask for his sister or see someone who reminds him of his sister. I can understand that. These are kids. Yes, he would miss his sister, his older sister. But let's keep going. Let me skip some of this. In a recent video, Jamison Montgomery is asked whether he loves his sister and replies in the affirmative before singing her the happy birthday song. NH Assistant Attorney General Jesse O'Neill declined to comment to Law and Crimes Inquiry about the case, citing an ongoing investigation. Let me give you guys the fair usage, and I will give you some more of my opinions here in a minute. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. This alleged father declined to answer questions about his daughter's disappearance. I don't even understand how you get to this point. I just don't think you have a soul for anybody that can do that to kids. Okay? It's just my opinion. If you guys are listening to this story, help us share this story. We want this to get bigger than any celebrity news that's out there. So if you guys would continue to spread these type of stories, especially when they involve children, make sure you guys also hit that thumbs up. It helps share these videos, popularize them in the YouTube algorithm so more people can see this. I think more people need to know that this is going on. All right, let's get it.
A mother's desperate plea. Please, I'm begging for help in finding my daughter. That's what Crystal Sorey wrote in an email to the Manchester mayor's office on December 29th. The mother of missing 7-year-old Harmony Montgomery said the girl's father never enrolled her in school and wrote she's missed important doctor's appointments she's had since a baby due to her disability in her eye. Sorey also said DCYF did nothing to help her find Harmony. Today, police ended their 3-day search of the backyard and patio of 77 Guilford Street in Manchester. That's where Harmony was last seen 2 years ago. The homeowners who live there now have no connection to the case. News 9 Investigates obtained service calls and police reports for that address from 2018 to 2021. Officers were called to that house 29 times. 4 of those indicate DCYF was notified. An incident report from 2019 describes clutter and trash in every room, and power had been cut to the house. But the report said all 3 children inside appeared to be clean and fed and were wearing appropriate clothing for the conditions. In a follow-up email last week, Sorey laid blame for her daughter's disappearance on DCYF, writing, DCYF failed my child 100%, and everyone in our family will vouch for that. DCYF officials say the agency is strictly bound by state and federal law from confirming any information about any of its cases.
Harmony's father, Adam Montgomery, is being held without bail on felony assault charges against the girl from 2019. His estranged wife, Kayla, also facing charges of welfare fraud. Late today, her lawyer filed a motion to have her $5,000 bail revised. The Attorney General's office tells News 9 Investigates they will object.
Father of a young girl who's been missing in Manchester, New Hampshire for more than 2 years has been arrested. Christina Hager is joining us live now with the latest. Christina?
We just stepped out of court where Adam Montgomery was set to face charges. Instead, attorneys arranged for him to be held without bail, as the law allows here in New Hampshire. Now, he is the father of Harmony Montgomery, who has been missing for more than 2 years. He's facing charges of second-degree assault, endangering her welfare, and interfering with her custody as police and social workers tried to track her down after she was reported missing. Now, according to the affidavit in the court paperwork, Adam Montgomery was supposed to have custody of the girl whose birth mother alerted police a couple of months ago that she was missing. Now, police say they were able to track down Adam Montgomery in a car in Manchester on New Year's Eve, and they say he was
I tried to find out what the reason was why the biological mother, I guess, didn't have custody, or what their custody situation was. I was not able to find that. So if somebody in the chat is a little more familiar with that, feel free to post it, but make sure you guys check to make sure if that's correct or not. But I'm not exactly sure why, but for this mother to have not seen her child for that long and didn't raise concerns, there were no red flags. I don't know if drugs were involved. I'm not sure. But to have services called out 29 times, that shows that there was a significant problem. 29 times. But let's keep going.
uncooperative, saying, I'm not talking to you and I have nothing to say. The prosecutor on the case today spoke with us outside court here, and here's what he had to say.
The concern for Harmony is that we want her back. As the Manchester police chief said the other day, we're still viewing this as a rescue mission and not a recovery mission. She's out there somewhere, and we want anybody who knows where she is, who has seen her since 2019, who has any information about her whereabouts, to call the Manchester PD tip line 603-203-6060.
The reason why I say that,
So as you
why we
heard
want to
him
be
say,
careful,
the search.
let me pause this real quick. The reason why I say we might need to do our research and be careful, if they have that like in some type of court documents or something, that she was actually having like a substance abuse problem, then that's one thing, but we definitely want to make sure that we don't assume. So I haven't seen the paperwork. If you have it, you can feel free to send me a link. I'll be glad to take a look at it. But in the articles that I looked up, between like maybe like 20, maybe 30 different websites. I didn't see that because most of it was focused on him and the stepmom. So that's the reason why, because all of the focus was put on him and the stepmom. Somebody in the chat said she was on drugs and just got sober. But I mean, like, it seems like it makes sense because, like I say, for a person to be that emotionally disconnected from their kid, that usually signifies a substance abuse or drug problem. Normally.
Tonight, new arrests in the saga of Harmony Montgomery, but the little girl still nowhere to be found after being reported only recently that she's been missing for the last 2 years.
The loss of any little child is tragic. A 7-year-old girl missing for 2 years. She's a daughter. She's a sister. She's out there somewhere.
Kayla Montgomery, the wife of Harmony's biological father, arrested on welfare fraud charges. Prosecutors say she obtained $1,500 in food stamps intended for Harmony after failing to remove the girl from their family account. She's being held on $5,000 bail. Her attorney says that's high for this kind of offense.
It tells me there's suspicions from the state that there may be something else involved. I don't know whether those suspicions are well-founded or not, but the request for cash bail is pretty unusual given what she's charged with.
Adam Montgomery had legal custody of Harmony at the time she was last seen. He was also arrested Tuesday. Neither is charged for her disappearance. Adam is charged with second-degree assault, interference with custody, and endangering the welfare of a child. One of those instances, investigators say Adam struck Harmony in the face, causing a black eye in 2019. Kevin Montgomery, Adam's uncle, was visiting the home around that time.
I walked in the house and Harmony had a black eye like you see in a boxing match between two men. He bashed her around the apartment, kind of with his exact words.
According to court documents, Kevin says he and other family members made multiple reports to New Hampshire's Division for Children, Youth, and Families.
And I don't know how they missed the black eye that I saw.
Police say they found Adam sleeping in his car with his new girlfriend on New Year's Eve. He told police
So the uncle called and reported, and it doesn't seem like anything really happened from Child Protective Services. Like, what else do you expect people to do? Like, we don't want people to start breaking the law and start legally kidnapping children, taking them out of a dangerous household, and then putting them in further danger. Or putting our own livelihood in danger. But the system of laws and protections that we have for these kids cannot fail them like this. If you see something, you say something, they're supposed to do their damn jobs. That's what they're supposed to do. Let's keep going.
He'd given Harmony back to her biological mother around Thanksgiving back in 2019. Her mother, Crystal Sorey, disputes this, according to the court documents. Police say he made some contradictory statements and, quote, did not exhibit much emotion or reaction to the fact that Harmony hadn't been seen in 2 years. A few days after this conversation, police maintain they're still searching for a young girl who is alive.
All right, this is not a recovery. All efforts are focused on that Harmony is alive, and we are going to do everything we can to find her in that condition.
Maura Barrett joins us now. Maura, this story just gets more horrific the more we learn about it. So the fall of 2019, around that time, Adam says he gave Harmony to her mother, is around the last time she was seen and then wasn't reported missing for another 2 years. Do we have any more clarity on that timeline?
So, Tom, according to these new court documents that we were able to review today, her mother said that she didn't get Harmony on that Thanksgiving. In fact, she didn't even see her then. The last time her mother had seen her was on a video call back in April of 2019. She reported this to the Manchester police in November of 2021. So just a few months ago. That lag time in between is still very unclear. And then it was about a month after that that the New Hampshire Department of Children, Youth, and Families said that it, too, was also unable to locate Harmony. Now, we reached out to that department for some more clarity, but again, they said that due to state and federal requirements that they're unable to confirm or deny whether a family has history in their system. And so, Tom, there's still a lot of murkiness in this very tragic story.
An incredibly sad story. Maura Barrett with those new details.
Now, I'm going to try to get to this interview, but some of these videos are a little bit long. Let me see if I can find it. That's a timeline. I do want to play that video, but it's really kind of long. Some of these I'm going to skip. So let's listen to this one. Let's go back.
If I can't speak for her, who else is going to, you know?
So this is the biological mother. Let's hear from her. Here we go.
If I can't speak for her, who else is going to, you know? Look what happened for 2 years because I wasn't her voice, or I couldn't be, or nobody could hear me.
Where did you think Harmony was for the last 2 years?
I thought she was with her dad, and he was just being a jerk, really. That's what I hoped was happening, you know, but in my heart I knew something was wrong. Something was very wrong. Like, he was going to extremes to block me and make sure that I couldn't contact her or anything, or even to the point, like when his family started calling DCYF and he knew, he then cut them off, and then I couldn't even get information from them, you know, because at least I could get information about what was going on through them. Couldn't even get anything from them. He literally cut anybody that questioned him about how he treated Harmony or what he was doing, he cut them off.
When was the last time you actually saw Harmony?
In a FaceTime video, like 2-3 days before Easter. I showed her basket. I said, I'm coming in a couple days. Mommy got you a basket, you know? I held onto that basket for a year and some change, hoping, you know, that I'd have a chance to give it to her.
And what did she seem like when you saw her on FaceTime?
Terrified. I would say, hey, you know, what's going on? You know, what'd you eat for lunch? What'd you do today? You know, are you going to school yet? Like, you know, how are your brothers and sisters? You got any friends? You know, little questions like, I'm her mom. Like, I want to know these things. I want to know she's happy. And every time I asked these things, he would pause it and he'd tell, whatever he'd say to her, I can't hear him, he'd mute it. And he'd be like, don't tell her, don't, and she'd be like, you know, and I'm watching her, so he'd unmute it, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, why are you muting it every time I ask her a question? Why aren't you letting her talk to me? Why are you answering for her? Like, you're acting weird, Adam. I'm like, what's going on? Like, we're co-parenting. Like, you're letting me have visits. Like, what's going on? He's like, I have sole custody, sole decision making. You don't get to ask me shit. And he hangs up and blocks me. And that was the last thing I had contact with her and saw her at all.
What made you call the police before Christmas?
It was a couple weeks, you know, I had called right after he stopped talking to me, but I was talking to my therapist and I was telling her, like, listen, this is affecting my mental health. I can't sleep, I'm super depressed, like, you know, my son's well taken care of, but me personally, I was really sad, you know, like something right here all the time, just telling me, like, you got to get her, you know. And I said to my therapist, I said, no one's hearing me. I've made reports. I've talked to desk people at DCF office because I didn't have a certain extension because Demetrius wasn't on the case anymore, which was the person that was supposed to remove her that didn't. He knew Adam personally. He was Adam's DYS counselor. So he was a conflict of interest from the beginning. So the 3 times they were supposed to remove her, they didn't because he knew him personally. And then I got word when... I
got a question real quick. How many of you guys believe her story so far? We're about a few minutes into this. We're about 3 minutes into it. There's about 8 more minutes. I can play the rest if y'all want to hear the rest. How many of you guys believe her story? By the way, if you're listening, if y'all would do me a favor, please click that thumbs up. We want to have 1 thumb up for everybody that's watching. We're a little bit short on our goal right now. Look at that thumbs up and please click that thumbs up. How many of y'all believe her story? I think there are certain things I believe about the dad pausing the video and trying to manipulate the conversation. I totally believe that. Totally believe it. There's certain things that she's saying I believe, but there's more. I want y'all to hear the rest of it, though. We're a little bit short on our thumbs up. If y'all would do that for me, because the more y'all do that, more people will see this. So if y'all would help us out, hit that thumbs up for me, okay? Let's keep going.
Mauricio had reached out to me and said, you know, I was told you had made past reports, and then they started asking me questions about Harmony. So he was a conflict of interest from the beginning. So the 3 times they were supposed to remove her, they didn't because he knew him personally. And then I got word when Mauricio had reached out to me and said, you know, I was told you had made past reports, and then they started asking me questions about Harmony, and I said I still haven't seen or heard from her, nothing, and didn't hear anything. The guy was I have all the text messages from the guy basically doing nothing. So I reached out to the mayor and I said, listen, if you guys don't help me find my daughter, because DCYF and DCF and Mass dropped the ball on this one, let her slip through the cracks, I said, I'm going straight to the media. I don't care. It was like hours later, I got a phone call from the police in Manchester.
And I hate when people do that. They make it seem like, even though you're in a rough position, they make it seem like all of this is the police's fault, Child Protective Services' fault. No, this is your fault and your husband's fault for getting this child to this point. At what point are we going to start to hold the parents accountable? Mom and dad together. Now, granted, we can add more responsibility on the entities that are there to protect these children under our laws per state. Yes. Yes, I'm not trying to absolve them at all. I'm not trying to absolve them at all. But what I am saying is there is a predicate point. That is the biological mother and biological father. Them two bastards together failed this baby. Right? Yes. Let's keep going.
And I had already called the Manchester police. They told me I couldn't file a missing persons report because he had physical custody of her. So they said, like, they told me go to court and file a petition to get custody. So I go there and they tell me if it's a DCYF open case, then I can't go there and go to court. So they were running, like, sent me around for busy work, you know what I mean, while they were trying to figure out how to cover their butt. And it was just, when they knew I couldn't do anything at the courthouse, but they still sent me over there, you know what I mean? And then, you know, the cops called me and they're like, we're completely involved now. DCYF told me this is really suspicious, blah, blah, blah. And then it came on the news.
Have you ever seen Adam be violent?
Yeah, when I was in a relationship with him, he used to choke me. I was pregnant with her, he'd choke me. Like all kinds of stuff. If you did more than him, he'd choke you. If you were texting and he didn't want you to, or somebody he didn't like, he would do whatever to you, scream at you, get in your face, whatever. He uses his intimidation and manipulation to get what he wants. Always has.
Have you ever seen him be violent towards Harmony?
Towards her, not me seeing this, but we had a play therapist that she had while he was getting visits when I had custody of her. And even my play therapist had made a report, before he got custody, mind you. I still had custody of her at this point. The play therapist made a report of abuse saying there was definite abuse going on in the house during visits. And when she told me that, I completely never let him have visits with her again, you know, because Nan was supervising them. And there was like once or twice where she had doc's appointments and stuff, so she wasn't there the whole time. And he's short-tempered, you know, so he, you know, as soon as he gets a second or loses his temper, he's gonna hit her, you know. And my daughter is, she's just like me, you know. She talks a lot and she's excited and she's smart, you know. She kind of even thinks she might even know a little bit more than you know, even though she doesn't. But that's just her, and she's just beautiful like that. But I just don't ever see someone getting so angry to where they bash her around the house, as he said. You know, I just don't understand. If that was the case and that's what you planned on doing with her, why go for custody? To spite me. That's all it was. It was never for love for Harmony.
Did he ever speak negatively of Harmony?
Yeah, oh yeah, he'd say, when I talked to him, you know, I'm like, so what was going on at the visits? You know, like, I questioned him about what the therapist had said. hence telling him no more visits, because he was blowing on my phone. He was supposed to pick her up, and I didn't answer. Then he showed up to the sober house in Roxbury making a scene, and the director was like, we'll call the cops on you, you know? And I told him, this is why. You're doing extreme punishments to her. She all kinds of stuff like that the therapist had gotten out of her just by playing dolls in a dollhouse. Imagine? I was horrified. I was like, no. I told DCF, and that was that. Like months later, they hand over custody.
How is it possible she got to stay with him after all of that?
I don't understand. I still don't understand to this day. I had a court date on the same day of that hearing for Jameson's adoption. So I sent over to get a continuance from the courthouse saying, hey, we need a different court date. I can't cut myself in half. They denied my continuance and just handed him over custody because they wanted to wash their hands of the case.
So for those who were wondering how she lost custody to the dad, from what I understand here, even though, because y'all are saying what she admitted later in the conversation, but let's catch what she just admitted right there. If you ask for continuance, usually what's the reason for that? You ask for a continuance usually either because you can't make it for whatever reason, whether you're late or you missed it. That's usually the way that goes. So it sounds like she either A, couldn't be there because of work, or she just flat out missed it and then asked for a continuance. That's what that sounds like to me. Okay? So that might have been a little bit of negligence on her part, which is why they awarded her custody. Hey, if you miss, you miss. Boom, they go ahead and proceed because that's what they can legally do. Now, was it the best decision? Maybe not. How do we know that she was a stellar mom? We don't know that. We don't know that.
You know, they were done with it. It was the lady said it was open 4 years too long.
So, I know, oh, sorry, come back a little bit this way.
Oh, sorry.
One spot. Yeah, okay.
I was trying to get out the wind.
No,
it was like,
whew. Only a few more questions and we'll be done. I know it's cold.
I don't know where he is. He needs to just come give me my coat.
I know, I mean, these are tough questions to ask a mom, but I mean, do you think Harmony's alive?
I still believe she's here. I think he has her with either like his mother that no one knows really anything about because she never raised him, you know, but I think he would call his mom or hit her up on Facebook and say, I'm in real bad trouble. I need you to take her. You're the only one that no one knows. You know what I mean? I feel like she's still here. I would know, man. Like I said before, a mother knows. You know when your baby's not here anymore. You know, you feel it the day it happens, you know, and yeah, I've woken up with panic attacks and woke up calling family members freaking out because like I just have a terrible feeling all the time. But it's not a feeling of that she's not here anymore, you know?
With his violent past and addiction, I mean, do you think he could have...
I feel like he sold her. I think he sold her because the same week that they're saying this happened, the day after Thanksgiving to December 6th, was the week after my son legally got adopted on the news. You know what I mean? And he knew what my son looked like. He, you know, that's my daughter's brother, you know? So he saw that, and I really think it's connected. I think, like, he got that idea from seeing that and was like, oh, I can do it illegally, you know? Because not for nothing, right around the same time, you know, human trafficking was at an all-time high. So was organ harvesting, which I don't even want to go there, you know, but at least if he sold it to a family that legally couldn't adopt or something, you know, there's still hope that she's at least safe somewhere, you know.
Do you feel any guilt?
Oh yeah, every day, every day. I played a part in this. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm innocent. Like, I'm a recovering addict. Like, when I gave birth to her, I didn't know nothing about being a parent. I didn't know nothing about getting in recovery, but I never stopped trying. I always went into program after program after program, trying to, you know, prove to her and my family that I wasn't going to stop until I got better.
I do respect what she just said right there. She admitted her part in it, And I'm gonna tell you something. And people, y'all, some of y'all in the chat, I was watching what y'all were typing, and y'all were saying that she seems to be very truthful. If you notice, you can check her body language. Now her hands are in her jacket, so she doesn't have her arms crossed, but her hands are in her jacket because it looks like it's really cold out there. But her eyes are focused on the man that's asking her questions. She's not looking down. She's not looking around. She's not looking with her head down. Her eyes are focused on the man that's talking to her. To me, if you ask me my opinion, I believe that that signifies that she's being truthful. And think about this. How quickly she said, oh yeah, I definitely played a part. This is my fault. I did this. I did this. I was a bad mom. A lot of ladies know. A lot of ladies understand. Some of y'all counterparts are not very forthcoming when it comes to admitting when they do something wrong. It's not all, but it is quite a few. It's very hard for a lot of women to admit their wrongs. In general, not all, okay? So I can at least respect that. I can respect that much. Let me let the rest of it play out.
It was Oregon harvesting, which I don't even want to go there, you know, but at least if he sold her to a family that legally couldn't adopt or something, you know, there's still hope that she's at least safe somewhere, you know.
Do you feel any guilt?
Oh yeah, every day. Every day. I played a part in this. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm innocent. Like, I'm a recovering addict. Like, when I gave birth to her, I didn't know nothing about being a parent. I didn't know nothing about getting in recovery, but I never stopped trying. I always went into program after program after program, trying to, you know, prove to her and my family that I wasn't going to stop until I got better, you know. And I just, you know, especially when I kept reaching out to Adam, kept reaching out. Like, I even was like, I even wanted to show him, like, look how far I've come, you know. Yeah, there's a lot of shame and guilt, you know, that come with this. But it's not gonna set me back. It's gonna motivate me to keep fighting for her and keep looking for her, because if I can't speak for her, who else is going to, you know? Look what happened for
I didn't like the fact that she said it's not going to set her back. What? I don't think she meant to say that. I think that was a horrible choice of words. It's not going to set you back. It damn sure should. That should be a very devastating thing. The fact that you haven't seen your daughter in over a year. That should be extremely devastating. It's not going to set you back. I get what she's saying. She's saying she has to push forward and keep hope alive. I know that's what she meant. Just thought that was really weird. And then there were 29 incidents between their homes. I just don't understand how you have that number of incidents and they didn't have any definitive place to do something with this child. Take her out of those households, put her into safe custody or something. I just don't understand how we get here.
2 years because I wasn't her voice, or I couldn't be, or nobody could hear me. You know, I just want people to hear me and come forward and tell us something, because somebody knows something. It's a fact. Like, someone knows something, and either they're too afraid to get in trouble or whatever, but someone knows something.
Y'all are saying that she was talking about relapsing. I'll go with that. You think she meant relapsing, so we'll put that out there. Maybe that's what she was talking about.
Just my last question: the search happening at the house now.
They're just scouring for any type of anything.
Do
really.
you think there's something at that house?
No. I don't have a feeling like there's. I get these crazy intuitions. I always have, and I don't have any type of intuition about that house. I feel like they're wasting time, to be honest. But that's just my opinion. I'm also hoping as well, that there's nothing. So.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, Chris. I know.
All right, let me see if we can get through these next couple of videos a little bit quicker.
We're not searching for anybody right now other than Harmony.
Tonight, New Hampshire police trying to make up for 2 years of lost time, searching for 7-year-old Harmony Montgomery. The community now offering a reward of more than $12,000.
Nobody's seen this young girl since late of October in 2019. So what's happened in the last 2 years? Fair question, all right? That's why I'm here today, because we need assistance, we need help.
Police say they received a report about Harmony's disappearance for the first time just last week, after the mayor's office passed along an email it received. The Manchester mayor's office wouldn't tell NBC News who it was from, but that the email expressed concern both about Harmony's whereabouts and the New Hampshire Division for Children, Youth, and Families. That's the agency which manages child protective and foster services. Police say the girl was last seen in Manchester when they were called to this home where Harmony lived in 2019. Investigators searched the home and surrounding neighborhood this weekend, though police say the family that lives there now is not connected with the case.
Nothing makes sense. Nothing.
Kevin Montgomery is Harmony's granduncle and says he too last saw her in the fall of 2019.
It's horrible. Frustrating. If there was a crime committed, somebody knows.
The biggest question, why did it take 2 years for the little girl to be reported missing?
It's a question I've asked. I want to focus on locating her now and dedicating all of our efforts to that. And if there was some flaw in the system, I'm not saying there was, but if there was, where was it and how's it going to be addressed?
Harmony's biological brother was adopted by Blair Miller, a Boston 25 News reporter in D.C. Miller told his station that he and his husband considered adopting Harmony because the siblings were close in foster care.
We really didn't have a choice, and because what we were told by DCF in Massachusetts was that Harmony had been reunited with her father.
The police chief, determined to continue the search, getting emotional at the most recent press conference.
I'm appealing to everyone. Help us find this little girl. Someone knows something. Do what is right and call in.
This is all so incredibly sad. Maura Barrett joins us now from Chicago. So Maura, my question to you is, do we know anything more about Harmony's family? I know a lot of times in these cases that involve children, it can be sort of hard to get information right away.
Right, and there's a lot that's unknown about her past specifically, Tom. I reached out to both the Massachusetts and the New Hampshire Departments of Children and Families, as we understand that Harmony might have been in foster care, so I was trying to understand where and when that might have existed. But both departments said or told me that due to state and federal privacy requirements, they can't confirm or deny specifics about a family's involvement with the department. But I do want to note that police have set aside a dedicated 24-hour tip line for anyone who might have new information about where Harmony could have been these past 2 years.
Tonight, the reward for information leading to finding 7-year-old Harmony Montgomery has now reached $100,000. Manchester police say overwhelming generosity from the public is behind the bump. Another $5,000 is coming from a local business and a $1,000 offer from a man in Florida. Anyone with information about Harmony should call the dedicated tip line 603-203-60.
Maybe that'll encourage some people to get up off their behinds and try to help find this kid, her whereabouts. Somebody knows something, saw something, and could report it. $100,000. Information's up there. That would be awesome.
Jean Kayla Montgomery currently being held on $5,000 bail. Her attorney filed a motion yesterday to have that bail revised. And now the Attorney General's office is not only objecting, it's adding new charges. The Attorney General's office cites new information released late last Friday by DHHS about Kayla Montgomery's family assistance file, alleging that she failed to disclose that Harmony was no longer under her care or in the household. This morning, the Attorney General filed a new motion adding 8 misdemeanor charges of welfare fraud connected to fraudulently receiving food stamp benefits for a child. Prosecutors are dropping the Class A felony of welfare fraud, but charging Montgomery with a new felony charge of theft under a different statute. On Monday afternoon, law enforcement ended a 3-day large-scale grid and dig operation in the backyard of Harmony Montgomery's last known address in Manchester. Officials declined to confirm if anything was found, citing an ongoing and active investigation. A $100,000 reward is now being offered for information that helps find Harmony. If you know anything, you can call or text a dedicated tip line. That number, 603-203-6060. The number is staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Phone number's right there on the screen. So there's another opportunity if you guys need to capture that number. It's right there on the screen. But I do have this set to replay so you can actually rewind it if you miss it. Let's keep going.
Just imagine.
Okay, so to answer your question, somebody asked, why not report her missing? That's the whole point. The point is the fact that the dad completely stopped giving information to the police and was like, hey, I know my Miranda rights and I don't want to speak against myself and cause myself to be in prison behind my own words. So he's saying, if y'all figure it out, y'all find it, cool, then charge me accordingly. But I'm not going to tell on myself. Now, granted, that's not the attitude of a loving father with a missing daughter, but it is his legal right to do that. I just think he's an asshole. Okay? Flat out.
Imagine if it was your daughter, your niece, your granddaughter. People know. Someone knows. Someone knows something.
Harmony Montgomery's disappearance takes us back to April 2019. In an affidavit for Harmony's father, Adam Montgomery, her mother, Crystal Sorey, tells police she saw Harmony on a FaceTime call with Adam around Easter. She says Harmony looked scared. In July of 2019, Harmony's great-uncle, Kevin Montgomery, witnesses Harmony with a black eye. In the affidavit, he tells police Adam told him he did it, saying, I bashed her around the house. The alleged abuse stemmed from an incident between Harmony and her baby brother, where Adam found Harmony holding her hand over her brother's mouth to stop him from crying. Kevin also claims he recalled seeing Harmony spanked hard on the butt, being forced to stand in the corner for hours, and scrubbing the toilet with her toothbrush. Manchester police say Harmony was last seen in October of 2019 at a home in New Hampshire. Harmony's great-uncle tells News Nation's Ashley Banfield he was visiting that house at the time and made the call to police.
It was my mother's house, and we wanted to go there and get some things that my mother wanted to retrieve and to check on the kids.
He says he briefly saw Harmony inside the home, recalling she looked timid. In the following months, Adam Montgomery's wife, Kayla, claims November or December of 2019 was the last time she physically saw Harmony. She told police in an affidavit that Adam was driving Harmony back to Crystal's home in Massachusetts. Kayla says she never saw or heard from Harmony again after that. Harmony's mother denied getting back her daughter around that time. Throughout 2021, according to court documents, Crystal spent the year attempting to find Adam and her daughter. Adam and Kayla had blocked all communication from Crystal through phone numbers and social media. Crystal says she made attempts to locate her by contacting different schools and driving by addresses that may be associated with Adam, but no luck. In November of 2021, Crystal reported Harmony missing to Manchester police, saying her daughter was in Adam's custody. Police then contacted New Hampshire's Division of Children, Youth, and Families for further information on Adam, but couldn't locate him. On December 27, 2021, the state's Division of Children, Youth, and Families notified police, saying they could not locate Harmony. On New Year's Eve, police made contact with Adam and his new girlfriend, who were found together inside a car. According to Adam's affidavit, police say he made contradicting statements about Harmony and refused to provide information on her whereabouts by telling police, "Not talking to you, I have nothing to say to you, and if I'm not under arrest, I'm leaving."
I want to make sure that y'all catch that. I'm going to rewind it so you can hear it. He said, I'm not talking to you. I have nothing to say. And if I'm not under arrest, I'm leaving. That sounds like somebody who was well familiar with being in jail, being in prison. Very, very well familiar with at least some of the basics. If you ask me, Dad sounds like a thug, and the thug had custody, And a thug having custody of this kid in this situation was not in this child's best interest because mom failed to make a court date for whatever reason to be able to get custody of her kid. And they just awarded it to the biological father. To be honest, the biological mom and biological dad are both terrible people. Dad is a thug and mom is a druggie. Regardless of whether she looks at this and in retrospect and says that I made some mistakes, I did some bad things. No, your whole lifestyle caused this to be the case that this child is missing in the first place. Both of y'all. I think mom and dad's girlfriend are all terrible people. But the ones who need to be arrested for the missing girl, Lord knows what happened to her or where she's at. I think the dad absolutely knows he deserves life in prison for that alone.
Police later take him into custody. On January 2nd, 2022, police search a Manchester home that belonged to Harmony's family in 2019, hoping to find answers where she could be. On January 4th, Manchester police charge Adam Montgomery with second-degree assault from that incident in 2019 involving Harmony, interference with custody, and endangering the welfare of a child. The following day, Kayla Montgomery was arrested on a warrant for a charge of welfare fraud stemming from food stamp benefits she was claiming on behalf of Harmony, even though she was no longer living with them. Which brings us to where we are today. Harmony is still missing, with police working around the clock.
I'm in rescue mode right now. All right, this is not a recovery. All efforts are focused on that Harmony is alive, and somewhere out there, this little girl is, in need of help.
And family pleading for her safe return.
My niece is out there. She has family that love her. Yeah, we just want her home.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
Let me give you guys my closing thoughts. My closing thoughts is that Dad's girlfriend either knew about this, participated in it. She definitely didn't care about this little girl because it's not her kid. The same thing applies whenever we flip this situation and the biological mothers have these boyfriends that don't care about these kids. So this is the same situation, just in reverse. The dad absolutely knows what happened to this kid. That's undeniable. And I just don't think that he has a soul. I don't think he cares where he goes after he passes away in this life. So therefore, he doesn't have a conscience to feel guilty about telling us the real truth about where his daughter is. I just hope that between technology, police, the FBI, or whatever it takes, or maybe somebody who was able to get this reward for this $100,000 is able to finally give us some peace and comfort to let us know where this girl is, or at least where her body is. I'm not so sure that the dad and stepmom are going to be responsible for her murder. Because I think that's what happened. I think this little girl might be dead, but I mean, how do we really know? We don't know. There's not enough evidence yet, but I hope they are able to use their tools, get us some evidence. But I think just the fact that the dad is oh, damn, I hate saying that. He's using his legal rights to not say anything, but we know he knows more than what he's reporting. And like I say, if they were able to make a case, he needs life in prison, okay? But thank you guys for listening to the story, and we hope that the next time that we talk about this, we're able to at least give you a real answer where this baby is, okay? Thank you for listening to her story with an open mind, and make sure you guys share it, okay? Thank you.